Even though I'm so good looking, I sometimes screw up. 12 divided by negative 3? Negative 4. It'll show up in a second. And what do I do with these exponents? Subtract. What's minus a minus? Add. So what's 9/4 plus 3/4? 12/4. Well, 12/4 isn't a number we would ever write. What is it? 3. Negative 4x to the 3. Nothing new. But to do this stuff, what do we grade 11 math teachers expect from you? That you remember everything that you have ever been taught about math. Right? Remember how back in the day you thought math was going to be real easy in grade 5? Because in grade 5 it was. But your grade 5 teacher didn't tell you, you're going to need this again in 6 years, so make sure you remember it. What should I do here? Is there a right way or a wrong way to approach this question? No, there isn't. What would I do right here, do you think? Do I want to bring that in to 1, 2, 3, 4 different terms? No, because what will happen if I have to do something 4 times? That's 4 chances at a mistake, yes? So I should simplify first. Can I do anything with those numbers? Does 7,868 divide by 3? Does it? What do I get? 256, right? So I get, change to black. Don't respond to me. Now change to black. 256. Can I do anything with B and C? Why? They're different bases. So b to the negative 1 over c to the negative 1. Now all of that is to the negative 3/8, right? Where does that negative 3/8 go now? Goes to everything, right? Okay. So it goes to 256. Now 256 has a negative exponent, so where does it go to live? To the denominator, 256 to the positive 3/8. This guy, b, now has a positive denominator, doesn't it? Because negative 3 times negative 1 is b to the 3/8, yes? And c now is c to the 3/8. Is everything positive? Am I okay? The only thing I might be able to check is 256. Does 256 have an 8th root? How do you check that? Who knows how to use their calculator and check big roots? You do, Max, because you were in my grade 10 honors class. Who else? Does 256 have an 8th root? What is it? 2. And then that 8th root is cubed. What is 2 cubed? 8. So the answer is b to the 3/8 over 8c to the 3/8. Everybody good? Nothing changes. Oh my good gravy, barf-tastic, what do you do first? What do you do first in C? Is there a rule in math to tell you what to do first if you're in trouble? BEDMAS. So where should I start? Brackets. There's no brackets that are containing operations though, are there? These are just fencing brackets, right? Is there an exponent to deal with? Where? Right there. Does that 5/3 affect that 1/3? Why? Because it's different base. So that 5/3 only affects the 2/5, right? So if I didn't touch the 1/3, but I am touching here, what do I get? What's 2/5 times 5/3? A to the, what's 2 times 5? 2 times 5 times 3. Or you cancel those 5s and get a to the negative 2/3, right? over a to the 4 thirds. Now, if it was a to the 2 and a to the 3, what would you do with the 2 and 3? On the top, what would you do? Add them. So even though this looks different, Megan, is it different? No. So we're going to add. What is 1/3 take away 2/3? You don't need to understand fractions to know this answer. What's 1 take away 2? -1. So 1/3 take away 2/3 is what? -1/3. So I have a to the -1/3 over a to the 4 thirds. Now, again, if I had a to the 2 over a to the 4, what would you do with the 2 and the 4? Subtract. So what do you do when they're fractions? Subtract. What's -1/3 minus 4 thirds? Minus 5 thirds. So I have a to the minus 5 thirds. Is that allowed? Why? Because it's a negative exponent. So what do we have to do with it, Max? Put it on the bottom. And I want it only as a power, so it's done. Now, guys and ladies, all of you, people, where in C was there something new? Could we technically have done this part of this course when you first saw your very first exponent? Back when you were learning Pythagoras in grade 7. Could we have done this? Did we know about exponents? Yeah. Did we know about fractions? Yeah. Did we know about adding and subtracting? Yeah. And then we put it all together, right? Kind of like when you guys are going to go learn to drive a car. You know a lot of stuff to drive a car, but you got to put it all together to drive a car. Same thing here. You know all this math, but you got to put it together. You cannot do this math at the level you guys are at without paying attention to it. You must pay attention to what you are doing. You don't have to pay attention to me because I'm not teaching you anything new this unit, have I? I've taught you nothing new. But you got to be able to do the work. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, let's go to the next one. What do I do with them? What's -3 and -3? -6. That's not allowed, so it's 1 over a to the 6th. Simplify each expression with positive exponents. Already done. Here, what do I got to do with those two numbers that are yellow? Why? Because it's base times base, they're the same, right? So this first one is 5b to the what power? 8 minus 12. -4. And then -10b to what power? -9. Now, what do I do with coefficients? I know how to do this. I did it in grade 9. You multiply them. What do you get? -50. What do you do with variables and exponents? Add them. What's -4 plus -9? -13. What of that is not allowed? The negative exponent. Can -50 exist? Everybody knows what -50 is. If I start going left to 0, I'm going to hit -50, aren't I? So negative bases are allowed. So it's going nowhere. -50 over b to what? 13th. Gouda? Great. Next one. Numbers first. Any coefficient over here? Any coefficient over here? No, so it's -7. What do I do with the x's in that one? Add them. What's 3 plus -5? -2. What is 2 plus -3? -1. Okay, no coefficients, -7. What do I do with the exponents? -2 plus -1? -3. And then where does that -3 exponent go? Right. Everybody gets that. What if the -3 was already on the bottom? Where would it go? Back to the top. You know what to do while I wait for this to unfreeze. While I still wait for it to unfreeze. -3, -7, x cubed. That one. Where do I start? Don't know where to start, Mr. Myers. Yes, you do, because you learned BEDMAS in grade 9. 8. Where do you start? Brackets. No brackets with math there. What's next? Exponents. There's an exponent that has a base. Where does that -3 go? Everything. Why? Why does that -3 have to go to that 2? Because it's part of the base. So -2 to the -3, a to the -9, times 3a to the 12th. This is a problem now, isn't it? Why? Normally, I'm allowed to put coefficients with coefficients, aren't I? But why can't I here? Because I've got a negative exponent. So I have to rewrite. I actually have to show work. A to the -9 over -2 cubed. What is -2 cubed? Wake up, -8, right? And then this is 3a to the 12. Now, can I work with the numerator? Okay, what is it? 3a to the what? 3a to the 3rd over -8. Where can that negative go? Can it stay there? Yes. Can it go to the numerator? Yes. Can it go right in the middle? Yes. What about this one? What do I do with coefficients? Simplify them. What's 16 divided by -4? -4. What do I do with the a's? I could subtract them, or I could just look. A to the 6, a to the 6. Aren't they the exact same thing? So what do I get to do? Cancel them out, because a to the 6 divided by a to the 6 is 1. So I don't need to write it. What do I do with the -3 and 3? What's -3 minus 3? -6. What there isn't allowed? -4 over b to the 6th. What about that one? What's weird? Where should I start? The exponent of -2. Wait a minute, negative exponents do something. What do they do? What could I do right now that would make my life easy? What's this really over? 1. What does a negative exponent do to fractions? Flip them. So can I rewrite this as 1 over -3a 5 b -3 c 0, all to what power? What kind of 2? Positive 2, because I reciprocated. Now, does that positive 2 affect that negative 3? What does it give me? What is negative 3 squared? What? Negative 9?
No, just
Positive 9. 2 and 5 is a to the 10th. 2 and negative 3 is b to the negative 6. 2 times 0 is? 2 times 0 is 0, right? And c to the 0 is 1. Do I need to write 1? No. What there doesn't work? Negative 6 is not allowed, but it's already in the denominator. So where does it go? To the numerator. That's a 10, not a 16. Is everybody good? Okay. Now listen, be honest. How many people have not done 11a? You can't get in trouble because I'm asking you. Great. That's what we were just talking about, yeah? On this page. We were just talking about what to do with fractions. Try it now. If you did do it, we're going to check the right answer. I'm going to take a moment and let you work on that. Lunch is at, if I am not mistaken, 11:20? 11:20-ish, right? So we got 16 minutes left in class. That'll be enough time to finish this off and do our test reminders for tomorrow. Oh, please notice that didn't print very well. That is a divide. That is not plus. So make sure you've got these 4 done, because those are, of course, the hardest question. They're the last questions in the unit. They must be the hardest questions in the unit. Right? Yo. Yes, of course they are. It's a test on exponents. You're in a university prep course, Sarav. Of course it's going to be difficult. Whew. My hurt leg feels better, but now the other leg that I thought was hurt but then wasn't hurting on Saturday is starting to hurt. Getting old is awesome. Max. I like that shirt because that's my mother's maiden name. I was going to change my name to Farrell. But my wife said I wasn't allowed. Yeah. My wife wouldn't let me because she's like, I already changed my name to Myers. I'm not changing it again. Okay, honey. It's fine. And then I thought that makes sense too, because then I would have to fill out every form with my old last name first, you know? Because when you do that form, if you've ever had a different last name, fill it out. I don't want to fill that out that way. So I didn't bother. Are we ready? Are we ready to do A? Yeah? We can go ahead and try A. Then I'll pause it and give you more time. Okay. There's a lot of strategies to A. Would anybody like to volunteer where they started? Anyone? Anyone? Sukpal, where did you start? So Sukbal, you went straight across like Mrs. Bad Crumble. You did 32 times 8 and then did the A's, right? And then you would have done 4 times 3 and done the B's, or the bottom, right? Okay. Is that okay? Is there anything wrong with that approach? No, not at all. Did anybody do something different? So what did you do, Priyanka? I'm sorry.
I did 2 plus, or 2 minus -8.
Oh, so you dealt with these guys first. You dealt with the A's, and then I assumed the B's, and then over here there was nothing to do. Okay, excellent. Is there anything wrong with that approach? No. Did anybody do something different? Max?
Can you divide 32 by 4?
Yes. So Max dealt with the coefficients, and then I assume you dealt with those A's and those B's. Is there anything wrong with that approach? Of course not. Did anybody have even a fourth approach? Erase. There we go. Could you have done something with the 4 and the 8 and the A and the A going acrossways? Is that allowed? Sure. Is there anything wrong with that approach? No. 4 approaches to the question. They're all going to get us to the same answer. You have to decide what works for you. There's no one right way. Everybody understand? Okay. So, I'm going to go, I will do Max's way, because it was the last one I did and it's sticking in my head. 32 divided by 4 is 8. 2 minus minus 8 is a to the 10th. Negative 4 minus minus 2 is b to the negative 2. Right? Times negative 8, a to the negative 2, negative 3, b to the negative 3. What's the denominator over here? 1. So this stays the same. My whole bottom, my whole denominator is negative 3b cubed. Up top, what's 8 times negative 8? What kind of 64? Negative 64. 10 and negative 2. A to the 8th. Negative 2 and nothing is negative 2. Yeah? Right? Oh, this b was negative 3. Sorry, guys. What do I do with negative 2 and negative 3 now? Okay, what's negative 2 minus minus 3? 1. Right? So I got b to the positive 1. So where does it go? In the numerator. And in the denominator, now I got to deal with 33 and 64. What do you notice about both of them? Dad, it's supposed to be a highlighter. What do you notice about both of them? They are negative. What happens when you divide a negative by a negative? Positive. So it's 64b over what? What do I do? Were there any a's on the bottom? A to the 8th. Well, that was supposed to be a negative 8, right? Oh, no. No, it was good. Where does the a go? A to what? 8. Yeah, everybody good? Great. Let's do the next one. Go. I'll finish these up. I'll put them on the end of the video. But very quickly, test reminders. 1. Exponent laws. Everybody's good with all of them except this one. X to the negative 2 is 1 over x to the positive 2. 1 over x to the negative 2 equals x to the positive 2. X, y to the negative 2 equals yx to the positive 2. That's the one you all screw up all the time. Okay? Know it. Next reminder. Negative x minus negative x is the same as x plus x, right? So that means x to the negative 2 over x to the negative 7 is the same as x to the negative 2 minus negative 7, which is the same as x to the negative 2 plus 7. Okay? Max.
Where it says, so they said negative x minus negative x equals x plus x, making negative x plus x.
Oh yeah, sorry. Negative x plus x. Thank you, Max. Everybody good? That's another one you guys always screw up. And finally, negative 3x squared y to the 2 is negative 3 squared x4 y2. But negative 3x squared y squared is negative negative 3 squared x2 x4 y2. The negative is outside, so it comes back in. Okay? Whereas this one, that negative 3 is going to become positive 9. Okay? Those are the 3 biggest errors with exponent work that you guys make in every unit of this course, because we are going to use exponents in every unit. Those are the 3 biggest mistakes. Okay? Not remembering where bases are, not remembering that subtracting a negative is the same as adding, and screwing up these 3. Is everybody good? Okay. We are going to write this test tomorrow. It is not a big test. It will not take 80 minutes. Don't ask me how big it is. I can't remember. Okay, but it's not an 80-minute test because there's nothing new. Okay? I don't even remember if I have multiple choice on it or not. I haven't even printed it yet. Okay? But it's not a big deal. Everybody good? All right. With any luck, we'll write the test and I'll get it marked in class so we can go over it tomorrow, so then we can go into the weekend with no homework. That's my goal. Homework tonight? Make sure you watch the last bit of the video. Finish this. Okay, so you guys can hear me. This is what I was talking about in the review. This 10 is outside of this base, so that 3 doesn't touch it. So I still have 10, but I have p to the negative 9, q to the negative 6, and r to the 0. Now, some of you want to do something with those negatives right now. Don't, because there's r's and p's and q's on the bottom, so things might change. This 8 does get that negative 2. So this becomes 8 to the negative 2. P to the positive 6, Q to the negative 10, and R to the negative 6. Now, this situation right here is yucky because that 8 has a negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and section that off, and I'm going to come back to it later. Negative 9 minus 6 is P to the negative 15. Negative 6 minus minus 6 is Q to the 4th. 0 minus minus 6 is R to the 6th. There has one problem. It's the P. Yes? So the P is going to come down to the denominator and become 15. Q4, R6. No problem with the exponents. Here is our problem. What is happening here? Well, that is really 10 over 8 to the negative 2. That negative 2 isn't allowed. So it's 8 to the positive 2 in the numerator, and the 10 is still in the numerator. Pen's frozen. I'm going to keep writing. 64 times 10 equals 640. So that's what goes there. Okay. Getting that for a final answer. Let's come down to this guy right here. That negative 2 changes all of this, right? What I would do there is I would go 1 over negative 2 x5 y3 z8 all squared. And that's going to multiply by negative 2 cubed x to the 6th, y to the negative 24, and z to the 36th over 1. Those ones are going to cancel. Now let's tidy this up. Negative 2 squared, 4. x10, y6, z16. Negative 2 cubed, negative 8. x6, y negative 24, z 36. Negative 8, positive 4 is what? Negative 2. 6 minus 10. Oops. X to the negative 4. Negative 24 minus 6. Y to the negative 30. 36 minus 16. Z to the 20. What there isn't allowed? Just the negative exponents. So that's going to equal negative 2 Z20 over X4 Y30. This one, there's a divided by in the middle. Computer's frozen. I'm going to wait a second. So first thing I'm going to do is simplify. 5 and negative 2. Can't do that because that negative 2 has a negative 3. So I'm going to simplify everywhere I can. I'm going to block this off so I got this whole page to work with. Quiet, please!
Attention, jazz, drumline, senior band students, please meet Mr. Fennell in the music room at...
See you later, because you're not going to stand around. Yes. Yep. Okay, we're back, guys. So tidy this up. I've got 5, and negative 2 to the negative 3 is going to go down here to be negative 2 to the positive 3. 3 plus 6 is a to the 9th. 2 minus 3 is b to the negative 1, so I'm going to put the b down there. Divided by negative 5 squared, that's okay, positive 25, and a to the 16, and b to the 18. Now, divided by does what to that fraction? 5a to the 9th over negative 8b times a to the 16th over 25b to the 18th. Cancel everywhere I can. 1, 5. So now I have a to the 9th times a to the 16th is a to the 25th over negative 8 times 5 is negative 8 times 5 is negative 40, and b to the 18th is b to the 19th. Now, I want to make sure I did all that right, because that's a big question. I was interrupted in the middle. A cubed b squared, yep. Negative 2 to the negative 3, yep. A to the positive 6, yep. B to the negative 3, yep. Divided by a to the negative 16, so that goes down there. So b to the 18. So that's okay. Yep, go ahead. Let me see. So we're good there. Negative 8b. Yep. And this side, it's this side that I just am double checking. Oh, no, see, I did screw it up because I put that in as a positive 2. So this side's a mess. Let's fix that up. Sorry, guys. Announcements and stuff were on. Okay. This side is negative 2, negative 5 to the negative 2, negative 16. So that's all good. So I'm divided by negative 5 to the negative 2 is positive 25. So it's down there. A to the negative 16 is down there. And b to the 18th is up there. There we go. Now I'm in the right spot. So this is still 5a to the 9th over negative 8b. This is times 25a to the 16th over b to the 18th. There we go. Now there's no canceling I can do. So I get computer's frozen. I get 125a to the 25th over negative 8b to the 19th. And then if I simplify that, I can't. So it is done.